111. Hello. 22. 111. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Hello there! Hey everyone, and welcome back to Alternate Route. My name is Alex. I'm going to do a bit of a different video today. As you probably guessed from the title, this is a behind the scenes video about our food waste documentary. When I was younger, I used to love watching the behind the scenes features on DVDs, and so I thought it might be cool to make our own behind the scenes. This video was really hard to make. We had a lot of troubles finding locations and gaining access to film people's rubbish. It turns out that your rubbish is wrapped up in a whole lot of bureaucracy. We did heaps of location scouting, walking around Melbourne, checking out a whole bunch of bins. The whole point was just to find a really good location to set that opening scene of Alfie. He's been thrown away, he's cold, he's alone, and he's just been like thrown out. So after we'd found this bin at the back of the pub, we got up at like 5:30 in the morning. We went out there with all the gear set up, started filming. 2 minutes into filming, a cleaner came out and was like, oh, you can't film here. They gave us a card for the pub and they said we'd have to get in touch with their manager. We emailed the manager. She said she had to get in touch with like the board of directors or something. She ended up emailing back citing security and licensing issues as a reason for us not being able to film there. Security I can kind of understand, even though it was a close-up shot of the bin and you would never have been able to tell where it was. But licensing? In the end, we ended up filming those rubbish bin scenes out the back of a Chinese supermarket. We got permission from the manager and he was like, it's totally fine. Yeah, it's no biggie if you want to go climb around in my rubbish and film some apple. It sounds really weird when you put it like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good. He's like in the rule of thirds. It's good.
Okay.
One. No, down lower. Yeah, 1, 2, go. Higher. Yeah, do it higher.
Okay. Ready? Ready? Hurry up.
Yes, hurry up. Perfect. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
The bin scene was interesting. I can't say I've ever climbed inside a bin before, but you know, the things we do for content. The bin wasn't so dirty though. I mean, it was just like some cardboard and a few soggy pieces of lettuce. Those throwing and catching scenes with Alfie were also kind of difficult to film.
Oh no, Alfie, camera.
It turns out it's not that easy to catch an apple perfectly in the center of frame. Huh? The next big hurdle we faced with trying to find a location was a tip. We just needed some landfill shots to show the scope of the waste, how much land it takes up. We went out to Tynong in country Victoria to film the food processing plant 9 Mile. And while we were there, we came across a really concerning discovery. We just got to Tynong, hour and a half east of Melbourne. Jacob wanted to go outside, fly the drone to see if it can handle the current wind because it's like really windy here. I just said to him, before you go outside, let's check and see what the weather's like. Type in Tynong. Tynong murders. Tynong murders. Can't wait to sleep here tonight. Oh, killing it. Also, while we were in Tynong, Jacob consulted Google Maps and saw that there was a tip in the area. So we decided to go check that out. What's going on here, babe?
Oh, we're just at Lardner Waste and Recycling Transfer Centre station, and it's very tiny. And we want dirty waste. We want big waste, tip waste, mountain waste, all the waste. We have no waste.
We were gonna fly a drone over it, but it's like a bit heavy on the security.
Not even, it's just so average.
Yeah, it's really tiny. And there's a tip with green grass on either side. It's not really much of a tip, is it? It doesn't work very well when we're talking about landfill and methane. But this is why we scout locations. While we've been off filming food processing plants and reading about murders in the area and climbing around in bins, I'd been in touch with the local council about filming at a tip. They eventually put me onto their filming location coordinator, who sent me a bunch of paperwork, happy to do the admin. I actually enjoy filling out forms. So there was a part in the form that said you needed public liability insurance. I decided to just leave that part. We're small-time YouTubers. These are the kind of forms they give to huge film crews who are bringing in unit trucks and like hundreds of extras. Surely public liability insurance doesn't really count for us. Wrong. The filming coordinator was like, oh yeah, it all looks so good, like you guys are totally fine to come film here, except you need $20 million worth of public liability insurance. I wrote back to her saying, we don't have that kind of insurance. She was adamant that we had to have it, and if we didn't have it, we weren't allowed to film there. So we've got a pub telling us we can't film their skip bin because of licensing and security reasons, and we've got a tip telling us we can't film without $20 million of public liability insurance. Talk about red tape, bureaucracy, bullshit. It just seemed crazy to us that you had to jump through so many hoops just to film people's rubbish. Rubbish is something that people have thrown out. They don't want it anymore. In the end, we ended up filming those landfill shots at a tip in South Australia. Jacob just flew his drone over. after it had closed, and we just filmed it. Anyway, never try and film rubbish. It's a nightmare. Also, never try and film at Woolworths or Coles. I knew that getting permission to film at the supermarkets was going to be tricky. They usually only say yes to big media organisations. Of course, they were going to say no to us. We just wanted to film some apples on a shelf. Again, the shot was meant to be anonymous. You wouldn't have known if we were in Woolworths or Coles and where that Woolworths or Coles was located. But they said no. We ended up filming shots of apples at a local grocer. The guy was really nice. You can hear the music in the background. This is so weird. Thank you so much. I know it's weird. Obviously, that's not the kind of music that plays at Woolworths and Coles. Thanks, Mr. Local Grocer, for letting us film there. Not only did the supermarket bust our balls when it came to trying to film fruit on shelves at the store, they also posed a problem when it came to trying to find an orchard to film at. We needed to show agricultural processes, and so we needed a farm to film at, and seeing as the story follows Alfie the apple, we thought an orchard would be the best location to film. But it was so difficult trying to find someone who would let us film at their orchard that in the end we actually ended up filming at a pear orchard in South Australia. The reason why no one wants to let you film is because they're terrified that they'll jeopardize their relationship with the supermarkets. We explained to them that we weren't going to say who they were, there would be nothing to show whose orchard it was and where it was located, but they were so scared of damaging their relationship with Coles and Woolworths that they just didn't want to speak to us and they didn't want to let us film their property. It all sounds like doom and gloom, but we did have fun making this video. One thing that can be tricky about making videos on the road is recording voiceovers. We don't have access to a studio, and so in order to do all of our voiceovers and audio work, we have to use the Duna Studio. Duna Studio. If you want to follow me down the back of the bus to the boudoir. Yes, this is where we record our voiceovers. So it's pretty state of the art. Just climb onto here like this, and it creates a completely soundproof recording studio. I'm gonna bring you under here with me. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so we are officially in the Duna studio. It gets real sweaty in here real quick because you can't really let any air in. If you listen, it's pretty quiet. Oh, I just realized how steamy it is. It's hot, it's sweaty, but it's a solution. Things like finding ways to record voiceovers on the road are the kind of challenges I find fun. I think when you're being held back by other people, like local councils and filming location coordinators, it can be really frustrating. But then there are other challenges that give you an opportunity to come up with creative and fun ways to overcome those obstacles. Duna Studio was one of those. Another one was Apple Cam. Jacob came up with the idea of strapping Alfie the apple to a GoPro selfie stick so that we could create the following shot from the bin back to Woolworths. That's the kind of stuff that makes filmmaking fun. It's one thing to have an amazing film crew with a team of grips and a cameraman and a director of photography who come up with the ways to do those shots. It's another to have two people working together with very minimal equipment and no money. And when those shots work and you pull them off, they're really rewarding. So that's it. That's how we made our food waste documentary. If you guys enjoyed this video, let us know in the comments and maybe tell us about some of the problems you've had as a filmmaker, some of the challenges and hurdles that you've encountered. Also, feel free to tell us in the comments if you didn't like this video. We want to make content that's interesting and enjoyable, and we don't want to make behind the scenes videos if people aren't into them. Just because I'm into them doesn't mean other people are. And if you like what we're doing, please subscribe, tell your friends. We'd love your support. Until next time.